Hello you guys, it is me, Miska, and I'm back with another video. Today we are making a down home favorite, okay? Smothered cube steak. Here's what you'll need. We have our cube steak here, some flour, onions of course, some seasonings of your choice, better than bouillon beef flavor, frying oil, and beefy onion soup base. What I like to do first is cut up some onions, and so I did that off camera. Next, I'm going to season the cube steak. I'm going in with all the seasonings of my choice, honey, okay? Because I got to eat it, so I got to put what I want to put on there. First, I go in with some onion powder, garlic powder, a little pepper, a little thyme, not too much thyme, but just a little, some garlic and herb seasoning. I also sprinkled it with a little salt. Then I added some fresh ground black pepper. And once you are done seasoning your first side, please season the back side of the meat, okay? Because don't nobody want to taste flavor on one side and then the other side be tasting all dry. That's not it. So yes, go in with all of your seasonings all over again on the other side. Thank you. After you have your steak all seasoned up, you'll then want to create a bowl with some flour in it. Listen at me, create a bowl with some flour in it. Child, put some flour in a bowl or whatever you want to put the flour in. And then you want to season your flour. You want to make sure that we're seasoning every layer of this meal, you know, because if you dip the seasoned meat in the unseasoned flour, you're going to, you know, defeat the purpose of seasoning the meat because the flour got to taste like something too. So yeah, season every layer. What I like to do is go in with all of those seasonings all over again so that my flavor can be, you know, maximized because that's what we're going for, maximize flavor. After you are done seasoning your flour, then you want to give it a good mix. Make sure the seasoning is all throughout the flour so that it's not any patches of the flour without any seasoning. While you're doing all of this seasoning, I feel like that will be a great time to put some oil in a pan so that you can be heating that up. You know, you want to work smart, not hard, so that your oil is already waiting for you and you're not waiting for it. Once your flour is all mixed up, we can go ahead and start covering our meat. So you just want to give it a light little dusting. You don't want to like make it too heavily floured. Just a thin layer is all you need. I like to sit it off to the sides and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes so that that flour can really adhere to the cube steak. Once you've completed this step and you've waited your 10 to 15 minutes to let the meat settle on the flour, or vice versa, you are ready to fry, honey, okay? You want to test your oil. I like to use my thermometer to make sure the oil is up to temperature, okay? One thing that has really helped me since I've become older and started cooking is getting a thermometer to test your meat, to test your oil, because I mean, I love how, you know, us black people, we be using our senses, our spidey senses to test meat or to know when food is done. But the thermometer, it comes through, okay? It comes through in clutch. So get you a thermometer. All right, we are ready to fry. And so as you can see, if you look in the pot. I don't have a lot of oil in there. This is not a meat that you want to deep fry. It just needs a little shallow fry, a quick 1-2 flip. I like to fry on each side for at least 3 to 4 minutes. And then you'll flip over and do the same thing again and set it off to the side. I'm frying at 350 degrees. I'm going to let this meat cook for 3 to 4 minutes because you don't want to fry it all the way through. It's already kind of a tougher meat, so you don't want to cook it until it's super dry. I like to let it finish cooking in my gravy. You guys, I lost a few clips while I was recording this video, so please forgive me, but we're going in with our next batch. And you'll want to do the same exact thing. Let it cook for those 3 to 4 minutes on each side. After that, we'll be ready to start our gravy, okay? Now, y'all, I don't know what was on my mind while I was recording this video. Probably all of the different variables that it takes to record a YouTube video of you cooking. It can be a little stressful, but I made it through, okay? I made it through. However, I'm saying that to say that I wish I had took some oil out of this pan. I don't know why I just threw them onions in this pan with all of that oil in there. I made it work. However, I wish I had took some out. Like maybe half of what is in there I wish I had took out. Anyway, we made it work still. And so what you'll want to do after you've taken your meat out of your pan and you're done frying everything, I go in with my onions because I want to flavor the oil. I want to give the oil some flavor. I want to give the oil some flavor so that it can make the gravy flavorful. Making gravy can be a little intimidating. However, it is pretty easy once you get it down pat. I'm just going in, taking out some of those pieces that are a little too charred or burnt because I don't want the gravy to have a burnt flavor. I want it to be flavorful, but not, you know, like burnt flavorful, because that's not it. And so once your onions are cooked down to your liking, you'll want to go ahead and add your flavor in. I am using the flour that I use to flour the meat because that flour already has some flavor in it. You don't want to toss it out. You want to cook it. And then don't be concerned about the bacteria because the heat will cook that out from that raw meat. So yeah, it's all good. This is where I say I wish I had took some of that oil out because as you can see, it's like super oily and you really want this flour to get kind of thick so that it can thicken up your gravy. It is doing it. However, it just took me a little longer. What you're seeing is kind of sped up, so it may look like it's, you know, doing okay, but this took me forever. Yes, child, it took me forever to brown this flour up because it was so much oil. Anyway, I digress. So yes, you want to keep that spoon moving. You don't want to let this sit and cook by itself. You have to keep your spoon moving so that it does not burn and you won't have to start all over. You definitely do not want that. So keep your spoon moving. Take some oil out so that you're not doing it forever and so that your flour can really brown up. Once I got the flour and oil to the brown color of my liking, to the tone that I want in my gravy, I then added some water. You can use beef stock, but I used Better Than Bouillon beef flavoring instead, and I added that to the pan. I also added the beefy onion soup flavor. After I add those things, you want to give it a taste and then season it to your liking. You want to use some salt if you need to. Any of the seasonings that you chose earlier, you can use those to make your gravy taste how you want it to taste. And the result should be this. After you got the gravying, you want to add your meat back to your pan and allow the meat to finish cooking the rest of the way. You guys, when I tell you this meat was so tender, it was actually the most tender that I have made it. And I was proud of myself, go me. And this is the finished result. I cooked it with a side of roasted garlic, mashed potatoes, some corn, a side salad. It was really good, you guys. OMG. Like, it really was, like, superb. I don't know. I showed out this time. I feel like I say that every time. But honestly, it was so good. So good. If you have any video requests or meals or whatever, you know, let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, you guys.